Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on, where you are in the world. This is Gloria White, and I'm coming to you from Utah, USA. There's been a lot of talk about the Insurrection Act, and I thought it would be good if we took a deeper look at that law and read what it says. Now, this is from the Cornell Law School, the Legal Information Institute, since 1992. So, this is actually the code, 18 U.S. Code 2385, advocating overthrow of government. Whoever knowingly or willfully advocates, abets, advises, or teaches the duty, necessity, desirability, or propriety of overthrowing or destroying the government of the United States or the government of any state, territory, district, or possession thereof, or the government of any political subdivision therein, by force or violence, or by the assassination of any officer of any such government, or whoever with intent to cause the overthrow or destruction of any such government prints, publishes, edits, issues, circulates, sells, distributes, or publicly displays any written or printed matter advocating, advising, or teaching the duty, necessity, desirability, or propriety of overthrowing or destroying any government in the United States by force or violence, or attempts to do so, or whoever organizes or helps or attempts to organize any society, group, or assembly of persons who teach, advocate, or encourage the overthrow or destruction of any such government by force or violence, or becomes or is a member of or affiliates with any such society, group, or assembly of persons knowing the purposes thereof, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years or both, and shall be ineligible for employment by the United States or any department or agency thereof for 5 years next following his conviction. If 2 or more persons conspire to commit any offense named in this section, each shall be fined under the title or imprisoned not more than 20 years or both, and shall be ineligible for employment by the United States or any department or agency thereof for the 5 years following his conviction. As used in this section, the terms organizes and organize with respect to any society, group, or assembly of persons include the recruiting of new members, the forming of new units, and the regrouping or expansion of existing clubs, classes, or other units of such society, group, or assembly of persons. And then, one second. So now we're continuing on the second page. This is 18 U.S. Code 2386, registration of certain organizations. For the purpose of this section, Attorney General means the Attorney General of the United States. Organization means any group, club, league, society, committee, association, political party, or combination of individuals, whether incorporated or otherwise, but such terms shall not include any corporation, association, community trust, fund, or foundation organized and operated exclusively for religious, charitable, scientific, literary, or educational purposes. That's the organization. Political activity. means any activity the purpose or aim of which, or one of the purposes or aims of which, is the control by force or overthrow of the government of the United States or a political subdivision thereof, or any state or political subdivision thereof. An organization is engaged in civil military activity if it gives instruction to or prescribes instruction for its members in the use of firearms or other weapons or any substitute thereof, or military or naval science, or it receives from any other organization or from any individual instruction in military or naval science, or it engages in any military or naval maneuvers or activities, or it engages either with or without arms in drills or parades of a military or naval character, or it engages in any other form of organized activity which, in the opinion of the Attorney General, constitutes preparation for military action. An organization is subject to foreign control if it solicits or accepts financial contributions, loans, or support of any kind, directly or indirectly, from or is affiliated directly or indirectly with a foreign government or a political subdivision thereof, or an agent, agency, or instrumentality of a foreign government or political subdivision thereof, or a political party in a foreign country, or an international political organization, or its policies, or any of them, are determined by, or at the suggestion of, or in collaboration with a foreign government or political subdivision thereof, or an agent, agency, or instrumentality of a foreign government or a political subdivision thereof, or a political party in a foreign country, or an international political organization. The following organizations shall be required to register with the Attorney General: every organization subject to foreign control which engages in political activity, every organization which engages both in civilian military activity and in political activity, every organization subject to foreign control which engages in civilian military activity, and every organization the purpose or aim of which, or one of the purposes or aims of which, is the establishment, control, conduct, seizure, or overthrow of a government or subdivision thereof by the use of force, violence, military measures, or threats of any one of the or more of the foregoing. Every such organization shall register by filing with the Attorney General on such forms and in such detail as the Attorney General may by rules and regulations prescribe, a registration statement containing the information and documents prescribed in subsection B3, and shall within 30 days after the expiration of each period of 6 months succeeding the filing of such registration statement, file with the Attorney General on such forms and in such detail as the Attorney General may by rules and regulations prescribe, a supplemental statement containing such information and documents as may be necessary to make the information and documents previously filed under this section accurate and current with respect to such preceding 6 months period. Every statement required to be filed by this section shall be subscribed under oath by all of the officers of the organization. This section shall not require registration or filing of any statement with the Attorney General by A. the Armed Forces of the United States, or B. the organized militia or National Guard of any state, territory, district, or possession of the United States, or any law enforcement agency of the United States, or of any territory, district, or possession thereof, of any state, or political subdivision of a state, or of any agency or instrumentality of one or more states, or any duty established diplomatic mission or consular office of a foreign government which is so recognized by the State Department of State, or any nationally recognized organization of persons who are veterans of the armed forces of the United States or affiliates of such organizations. Every registration statement required to be filed by any organization shall contain the following information and documents: the name and post office address of the organization in the United States, and the names and addresses of all branches, chapters, and affiliates of such organization. The name, address, and nationality of each officer and of each person who performs the functions of an officer of the organization and of each branch, chapter, and affiliate of the organization. The qualifications for membership in the organization. The existing or proposed aims and purposes of the organization, and all the means by which these aims or purposes are being attained or are to be attained. The address or addresses of meeting places of the organization and of each branch, chapter, or affiliate of the organization, and the times of meetings. The names and addresses of each person who has contributed any money, dues, property, or other thing of value to the organization, or to any branch, chapter, or affiliate of the organization. A detailed statement of the assets of the organization and of each branch, chapter, and affiliate of the organization, the manner in which such assets were acquired, and a detailed statement of the liabilities and income of the organization and of each branch, chapter, and affiliate of the organization. A detailed description of the activities of the organization and of each chapter, branch, and affiliate of the organization. A description of the uniforms, badges, insignia, or other means of identification prescribed by the organization and worn or carried by its officers or members, or any of such officers or members. A copy of each book, pamphlet, leaflet, or other publication or item of written, printed, or graphic matter issued or distributed directly or indirectly by the organization, or by any chapter, branch, or affiliate of the organization, or by any of the members of the organization under its authority or within its knowledge, together with the name of its author or authors and the name and address of the publisher. A description of all firearms or other weapons owned by the organization or by any chapter, branch, or affiliate of the organization, identified by the manufacturer's number thereon. In case the organization is subject to foreign control, the manner in which it is so subject. a copy of the Charter, Articles of Association, Constitution, bylaws, rules, regulations, agreements, resolutions, and all other instruments relating to the organization, powers and purposes of the organization, and to the powers of the officers of the organization, and of each chapter, branch, and affiliate of the organization, and such other information and documents pertinent to the purpose of this section as the Attorney General may from time to time require. All statements filed under this section shall be public records and open to public examination and inspection at all reasonable hours under such rules and regulations as the Attorney General may prescribe. The Attorney General is authorized at any time to make, amend, or rescind such rules and regulations as may be necessary to carry out this section, including rules and regulations governing the statements required to be filed. Whosoever violates any of the provisions of this section shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 5 years or both. Whoever in a statement filed pursuant to this section willfully makes any false statement or willfully omits to state any fact which is required to be stated, or which is necessary to make the statements made not misleading, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 5 years or both. Continuing on page 3, 18 U.S. Code 2387, activities affecting armed forces generally. Whosoever with intent to interfere with, impair, or influence the loyalty, morale, or discipline of the military or naval forces of the United States. 1. Advises, counsels, urges, or in any manner causes or attempts to cause insubordination, disloyalty, mutiny, or refusal of duty by any member of the military or naval forces of the United States, or 2. Distributes or attempts to distribute any written or printed matter which advises, counsels, or urges insubordination, disloyalty, mutiny, or refusal of duty by any member of the military or naval forces of the United States, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both, and shall be ineligible for employment by the United States or any department or agency thereof for the 5 years next following his conviction. B. For the purposes of this section, the term military or naval forces of the United States includes the Army of the United States, the Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, Navy Reserve, Marine Corps Reserve, and Coast Guard Reserve of the United States, and when any merchant vessel is commissioned in the Navy or is in service of the Army or the Navy, includes the master, officers, and crew of such vessel. Page 4, 18 U.S. Code 2388, activities affecting armed forces during war. Whosoever, when the United States is at war, willfully makes or conveys false reports or false statements with intent to interfere with the operation or success of the military or naval forces of the United States, or to promote the success of its enemies, or whoever, when the United States is at war, willfully causes or attempts to cause insubordination, disloyalty, mutiny, or refusal of duty in the military or naval forces of the United States, or willfully obstructs the recruiting or enlistment service of the United States to the injury of the service or the United States, or attempts to do so, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years or both. B. If two or more persons conspire to violate subsection A of this section, or more such persons do act to effect the object of the conspiracy, each of the parties to such conspiracy shall be punished as provided in said subsection A. Whoever harbors or conceals any person who he knows or has reasonable grounds to believe or suspect has committed or is about to commit any offense under this section shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. D. This section shall apply within the admiralty and maritime jurisdiction of the United States and on the high seas, as well as within the United States. Continuing on page 5, 18 U.S. Code 2389, recruiting for service against United States. Whoever recruits soldiers or sailors within the United States or in any place subject to the jurisdiction thereof to engage in armed hostility against the same, or whoever opens within the United States or in any place subject to the jurisdiction thereof a recruiting station for the enlistment of such soldiers or sailors to serve in any manner in armed hostility against the United States shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 5 years or both. Page 6, 18 U.S. Code 2390, enlistment to serve against United States. Whoever enlists or is engaged within the United States or in any place subject to the jurisdiction thereof, with intent to serve in armed hostility against the United States, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 3 years or both. And so that concludes that information that is available on the Sedition Act. Now, I thought it would be good that we go back over the word organization and what it means, since it was mentioned so many times. Organization means any group, club, league, society, committee, association, political party, or combination of individuals, whether incorporated or otherwise, but such terms shall not include any corporation, association, community chest, fund, or foundation organized and operated exclusively for religious, charitable, scientific, literary, or educational purposes. I just noticed that this is very interesting that it's different groups of people, but there's just different names for these groups of people, like, foundation. I find that very interesting. Corporation, association, foundation, fund, for operated exclusively for religious or charitable or scientific or literary or educational purposes. So they would have had to have filed paperwork with the Attorney General, which should be available to the public to be able to inspect it and see exactly what it says, as it's, information that it had to provide to the Attorney General at the time, and subsequent 6-month renewals. Political activity means any activity the purpose or aim of which, or one of the purposes or aims of which, is the control by force or overthrow of the government of the United States or a political subdivision thereof, or any state or political subdivision thereof. So, and then it goes through all the different organizations, the requirements that have to be fulfilled to the Attorney General of the United States. So, folks, that concludes this video. And as always, I love you.